An apology from Mattel. Are they just toying with us? Let's go live now to Nick Bontis at the DeGroote School of Business. Now, hello, Nick.
Hi, Connie. How are you?
Nick, what's the strategy here? This seems a little extreme on the part of Mattel.
Well, apologies are always a good thing. That's what my mommy always used to say. But
you listen to your mommy. Good boy.
The reality is that obviously China was dragged through the mud over the summer with all these recalls, and the government got mad. It's the Chinese government, of course, and there could be a risk. Maybe the Chinese government could say, Mattel, get out of here. And could you imagine the millions and millions of dollars that Mattel would lose? I think the reality is Mattel is big, but China is bigger. So you have to see where the power play here is. Chinese manufacturers were building the specs, so with regards to the small magnets, I think liability does shift to Mattel because they designed those small magnets and the Chinese manufacturer just building the specs. So I think Mattel is taking responsibility. That's why they're apologizing. That's why they're being proactive with the recall. They're taking a lesson out of one of the most famous recall cases ever in business, which of course was in 1982, Johnson & Johnson with Tylenol. Johnson & Johnson was very proactive. 2 months later, they were back to business. The stock was higher than it had ever been before, and that's what Mattel is hoping for.
Well, can this apology carry any legal weight, though?
Well, it could carry some legal weight, but the reality of the situation is they're trying to save face. They're trying to protect the brand. There were a lot of lawyers in the room when the Mattel executives were apologizing, so I'm sure that they kind of ironed that out beforehand. And Mattel, let's face it, they want to move forward. They want to get this thing past them. Christmas season is coming. They want to sell tons of toys. There's a little bit of consumer hysteria right now. People thinking they're going to flip the label and see if it says made in China. But I think in the next few months, people are going to forget about that. Mattel has also published on their website, if you go to Mattel.com, the recall list. Every single toy that's a potential threat, and they've published that list in 23 languages, and they have a video version of the list. So I think they've done their job to protect themselves legally.
Okay, so they're covered. What about China? How has this damaged China's reputation internationally?
Well, like I said before, there is a little bit of hysteria. You'll see some people who are very, very active, and they're, like I said, flipping the label to see if something is made in China, and they're going to claim, I'm never going to buy anything that's made in China. But come on, let's face it. Millions of things, billions of things in this world are made in China because of cheap labor. So I don't think you're actually going to have people stop buying Chinese things. Thank God for China, frankly. My watch, probably made in China. My cell phone, made in China. The TV that your viewers are watching this show on, parts were made in China. And frankly, the camera in the studio, Connie, that's staring at you was probably made in China. And if it wasn't for China, we'd be paying much more money for a lot of these things.
All right. Well, Nick, I'm just glad you always listen to your mother. Thanks so much. Have a good weekend, Nick.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.